and welcome to Lazy Fix It, where I show you how to fix things around the house the right way with a minimal amount of effort. Because I'm lazy. Okay. If your Jeep's leaking oil and your friends and family are complaining, they can follow you by the trail of oil you're leaving. It just might be the oil adapter. For the longest time, it was dripping oil. I thought it was the main seal in the rear, but I was putting off changing it because that's a really big job and I don't really, kind of lazy to do that. And then just one day while I was messing around underneath it, I discovered it was not the main seal, but it was the oil adapter leaking. Never even heard of an oil adapter leaking before, but they do. I guess anything will leak. And the oil was dripping down and catching on the back of the engine, so it looked like it was dripping from the main seal. It also covered my starter with oil, which is how I discovered that it was leaking, because it blew out my starter. So if you need a starter on your Jeep, make sure you get the oil leak fixed, because it'll just ruin your new starter. And if you have to replace your starter, do it while you do the oil filter adapter. It'll give you more room to work. On my Jeep, I didn't have to jack it up or anything, so I've got a little lift on it. But even without a lift, I think you can get to it from underneath. It's a lot easier from over top. First thing, remove the negative battery cable, because you're right by your starter. You slip a wrench, it'll throw all kinds of sparks. I found that out the hard way, so learn from my mistakes. Alright, so first thing I had to do is take this oil adapter off, which was stuck on there pretty good. So I started the Jeep and I ran it for about an hour. I drove to the dealership to buy the part for it. You can buy O-rings from O'Reilly's or Napa. You go to Napa with the thing and they'll try to find some O-rings. I went directly to the dealership. The dealership had the part in stock. They sell them a lot. Dealership was not too far from my house, so it was worth the drive. It cost a little bit more. It was $8, and I'll put a picture of it and the part number right around. I can't get used to this backwards monitor. It's really like mirror image. I'll put a picture right about now. .60 socket. I took a bolt, stuck it in here, and hit it with a hammer until it popped this out. This is what you want. Just that. Make sure it's not an expensive socket, or if it's one with a lifetime warranty would be even better. But I got a cheap one from AutoZone for $5, which is not really cheap, but cheap enough. Then I took this wrench, which is 13 millimeter, and put it on there. Now I have a nice handy dandy tool to remove my oil filter adapter. Reason why you want to do that, when you put that in there, the motor mounts right here and you don't have enough room to put a socket on it. Put a wrench on it, took the other wrench, hooked it on it to get more leverage, and I just pulled it forward toward the front of the engine to break it loose while the engine was hot. And then once it broke loose, I snapped it. Well, that didn't happen, but once it broke loose, I went and had a snack and let the engine cool, because I don't want to burn my hands, and I had a little bit of time and I was hungry, so I had a snack. So once it broke loose, this bolt doesn't come out, it just turns. See, it just turns, it doesn't really come out. So, but this will come off the block. Once it's off the block, then I spun the filter off. What you want to replace is this gasket here, then there's a gasket down here, and then there's one all the ways down on the bottom. There's three little O-rings, one on the bottom, one about a fourth of the way up, and then this one on the top. This thing on the top, I had to get a toothpick and pull it out, because it was stuck on there really good. All the 250,000 miles of burning oil just really sucked it on there, fried it, turned it into a hard piece of plastic. there's a few write-ups on how to take this stud out and screw it directly into the engine block, and then your oil filter will screw right onto the engine block. I chose not to do that because, like I said, I have just this much room between for it to work. I was afraid that the oil filter would be too close to the engine mount. With my crazy driving, it would rock the engine back and forth and dent the oil filter and make another oil leak, and then you'll have that pesky oil leak back, and then you can't pull into friends' driveways, and then you have to leave a big, you have to pressure wash everybody's driveway because you're leaving a big oil mess. So you go with a smaller oil filter, but why do that? Just guys at Chrysler really spent a lot of time engineering this, so they got to know something I don't. They got more learning than me, so I just went ahead and fixed it. I'm the lazy fix-it guy, and I don't have a catchphrase yet. I'm open for a catchphrase. I'm thinking snack time's a good catchphrase. What do you think? All right, bye.